So I want to introduce Steve Cartlidge to our audience today. Thank you for joining us, Steve.
You're welcome.
Steve has been an instructor for several years now, and I can let him give you the details of that and what he instructs. But I met Steve several years ago. He was kind enough to host our AMTA meetings for the Dallas chapter, and he instructed us on, I think it was gentle deep tissue work. It was a great class. I loved it. We had a good turnout. And so thank you for hosting that. I know that's been several years ago. But, since then, we've had a pandemic we've lived through. There's been a lot of changes in our world and in our industry. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about who you are and what you teach. So go right ahead.
Okay. My name is Steve Cartlidge. As Julie said, I've been a massage therapist. I just started my 26th year of massage therapy, and I just started my 14th year teaching continuing education classes. I've had over 2,500 students in the class. That's not different people, but over 2,500 butts in the seat, so to speak, as I'm teaching the classes, representing about 460 different classes with over 1,000 different individuals attending those classes. So this is my 14th year, and I teach 12 or 13 different classes, depending on how you want to count it. I started out back in 2009 just teaching 2 classes. One was called Continuous Flow, and that just helped therapists to make connection in their massage to where there was a bit of a flow to what they were doing as opposed to it being so segmented. And I felt that was kind of needed. I had a really weird experience with the lady who's working on me, and she left me on the table, went across the room to get a drink of water, and came back about 30 seconds later. And I'm like, where did you go? I was face down at the time. So I thought that might be something that people could benefit from, is staying in contact with your clients, having some continuity to the flow of your massage. And so I came up with that class called Continuous Flow. And then also my background is in sales and marketing. And when I started back in 2009, the only 2 classes were that class, the flow class, and a class called Marketing for Massage, or how to build your business. And because I thought I knew how to do that and was pretty successful in doing it. And then over the years, I've continued to add classes and add classes. So now that I have 13, however, I'm really only teaching 12 of them because I'm teaching on site at a massage establishment such as Massage Envy, Hand and Stone, Holistic over in Weatherford, Island Massage down in Burleson, various different places where they host me to come teach because I gave up my office in April of 21. And so they don't want me to come in and teach marketing for massage because they want their people to stay there. So that class has kind of died, although I'd be happy to teach it. If there was a group of people that were sharing an office and they wanted to have it taught there, I'd be happy to do it. But mostly I'm teaching the 12 different classes now that range everything from that continuous flow class, deep tissue, pregnancy massage, lomi, fascial release 1 and 2, painless deep tissue, sports massage, massage for sports injuries, and there's 12 of them. My website is advancedmassagetherapy.vpweb.com. So if anybody wants to go on there and see the list of classes or what you need to do if you have a massage establishment or an office with a group of therapists that are sharing and would like to have me come on site and teach the classes on site, that's what I have been doing since I closed my office in 21. Now, when I originally closed my office, I really didn't intend to continue to do any massage. I was just going to do some on-site teaching and that kind of thing. Well, the timing on that wasn't great because people were having a lot of trouble. Massage establishments were having a lot of trouble staffing their establishments at that time. And so they really didn't want to take 6 hours to have somebody come in and teach a class, even if the therapists were paying for it themselves, which normally they don't. The establishment will pay, but even if the therapists were paying for it themselves, they didn't want to take them off the clock for 6 hours to do it. And so it was very slow in 21. It's starting to pick back up now. And I'm starting to get some on-site classes again at Massage Envy and Hand and Stone and various other places such as that. But also about September of 21, I got really bored and decided I didn't want to stop doing massage. And so I started doing some outcall massage originally to some of my clients that could accommodate me in their homes, some of my regulars. And then I signed up with Zeal and Soothe and have been doing a little bit of work with them, just enough to keep me from being bored. I'm really not trying to make a living at it anymore, but it's enough to keep me busy and make a little money here and there, but that's not my goal. It's just to stay busy. So that kind of sums up what I have been doing.
Well, it sounds like, because I'm opening up a massage supply and training center
I am
in
so excited about that, Julie,
in
because
Fraser.
there has been a few, ever since Body Logic's closed,
Yeah.
it's just been a nightmare trying to buy anything. I mean, you can buy it online from Massage Warehouse, but you can't see it. You don't know what you're getting unless you've ordered that same product before. You have no idea what it's going to be when you get it. And I could tell you horror stories about that, but I won't.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited that you're going to have a physical location that people can come to and buy their massage supplies and lotions and all that kind of stuff. And then also, of course, I'm excited about the training center as well and hope to get teach some classes out there. But on the bigger picture, I think it's really exciting for massage therapists in Dallas-Fort Worth to at least have a place they can go and buy massage supplies, whatever it might be that they need.
It just warms my heart every time I hear somebody say that, because it justifies all of my hard work that I'm doing to get this thing open, because it is not for the weak of heart to open up.
No, it's a big endeavor.
Business. And I want to share the path in which I'm taking, because there are a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of obstacles that are coming along my way, but I am plowing through them. And it's people like you that have encouraged me, that justify the fact that we really do need something and a place to go to connect with other people in our industry, to learn from each other, to touch and feel the products. I mean, we are touchy-feely people. If we weren't, we wouldn't be in this industry.
Exactly.
We want to feel the massage lotion and use it before we buy a whole gallon of it or
Right.
that product, or we want to touch and feel the sheets. I mean, it's such a literally a tactile industry.
Exactly.
And when I work with my mentors about how I'm going to get this store open, that is such an important piece as to why we need a physical store and not just an online presence. So I'm just so happy to reiterate that. And I'm excited.
And you're going to be in Plano, right?
Yes. So I just signed the lease. This episode is probably going to come out in a couple months. So this might be, the timing is a little off for what I'm actually doing at the time right now versus when this episode will be released. So my audience, I need to apologize for them for any delay in communication here, but I just signed the lease. My goal is to be open by January or early next year. The build out will take some time. We know that there's some delays in supply chains and, with workers and things like that. So I'm not trying to push to be open by the holidays. I originally was hoping that would happen, but we've already been delayed. And anyway, it's going to happen next year. I'm so excited about it. Hopefully we can get you in to teach some of these marketing classes that you're talking about, because I think that's a really big key for massage therapists. Again, when we were talking before I hit the record button, I said, one of the things we want to do in this podcast and in the store and training center is help fill in the gaps of things that you didn't learn in massage school. So marketing and business is a major part of that. And you and I have a marketing business background. I have a marketing degree from UNT, and it's come in really handy as a business owner. But not every massage therapist has that tool in their toolbox. And it can be very frustrating to just open your doors and go, where are all the people?
Right.
And how do I define what my target market is? How do I get people in the door? What is my message? What's my hook? So there are a lot of questions out there that a lot of us have as we open our business. One thing I want to talk about with you is being flexible and adaptable as a business owner. And you've talked about it a little bit as you've had to close your office And now you're working out of other places and finding multiple income streams, not just massage therapy related, but also with instructing at other places as well.
Mhm.
How have you been able to find a way to shift your mindset and adapt to, not having an office?
Well, originally I was going to just kind of retire, to tell you the truth, but I just got bored. I mean, I was going to continue to do teaching, when I got calls for it, but I wasn't really actively promoting that. I did send out, I have a really huge list of people who've attended my classes over the years, 900 to 1,000 people on my email list. And then I also have a number of places that I had taught, massage establishments that I had taught over the years. So I had a list of those people. So I sent out a few emails to those massage establishments telling them what I was doing. I sent out to the entire list as well, just in case it was people that worked in massage establishments that might want to tell the management, hey, this guy will come here. But I didn't really pursue it very hard because I wasn't wanting to be that busy. And as I found out, if you don't pursue it very hard, you're not only going to not be that busy, you're not going to be busy at all. So I started to take a different tact on it and started to contact some of the people by phone that I had worked with before. And over time, it's kind of come back a little bit. And I'm finding some new places as well. But in terms of my personal clientele, I really didn't want to do a lot of work. So I only contacted maybe my top 5 or 10 clients that have been coming to me, some of them as long as 20 years, and said, hey, I'm available to come to your home and do this. And there were a couple of them that, it didn't work for them. They had kids running around. They wanted to get away from their home to go get a massage and not be in their environment. And then I had others that just didn't have room to set up because they were in a small apartment or something like that. So I only have a few, and I've picked up a couple of regulars off of Soothe and Zeal, but that's through the app, of course. It doesn't pay really well, but it's something to do and makes a little bit of money for you. I wouldn't recommend anybody close their office and think they're going to make a living out of outcall massage unless they have an established clientele. 70% of them or more are willing to let you come to their home. Then you can build it after that. But I think that it's really difficult to maintain an outcall massage practice simply because it's really hard on your body too. You're carrying massage tables around, and I've got a bag that weighs nearly as much as my massage table that has padding and a Bose speaker and all lotion and sheets and towels and all that kind of stuff. So it's not for the faint of heart. And I do recommend anybody that decides they're going to do that to invest in an aluminum massage table that's a lot 20 pounds lighter or whatever than the wooden ones, because it'll wear you down if you're going to apartments or second floor buildings and that kind of thing, trying to carry it around. So that's been my experience with it. And like I said, I'm at the point that I'm not trying to make a living doing this, but I think that I can offer some suggestions to people who are still trying to make a living doing this. And the first thing I would say is keep your office and sign up with Zeal or Soothe or whichever of your clients will let you come to them. If you want to start transitioning, I would suggest that you transition it. Don't just shut your office down and expect that you're going to be as busy as you were before. And of course, my office rent was extremely high because I had a big office that accommodated classes. And so I got rid of a big expense when I got rid of my office. But a lot of people, they're only paying $700, $800, $900 a month for their office, and you can't live on that on $800 a month or $900. So, I would suggest that you transition if you want to do that. In terms of marketing, I've got all sorts of ideas about that. I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to hear him.
Okay. Well, I've had some criticism on my marketing class from people that said, we don't have a lot of money to invest in advertising. We were trying to come and get some tips that didn't cost us anything. And I have some of those, but there are things that most people will not discipline themselves to do. If you do them, you will set yourself apart from other massage therapists by doing them. And I'm going to give you 2 or 3 of them, and they're real quick. And that is, when you have a new client, you're going to have an intake sheet that you're probably going to get their cell phone number. If you don't get their cell phone number, when you look over the intake sheet, ask if they'll give it to you. And at the end of the day, every day without fail, every new client gets a text that says, "Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to work on you today. It was a pleasure to work with you. I hope to see you again soon. Remind me to give you $10 off the next time you come," or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be that. You don't even have to do that, but make contact with them very shortly after they came in to tell them how much you appreciated them coming in. And I had people say, "Oh, that's just too much trouble. I don't want to do that. I do 6 people a day." Are they all new? No. Well, then how long does it take to write it 2 texts? You write the same text, copy it, and send it to 2 people. It doesn't take that long.
Right.
And if they don't come back within 30 days, send them another text. Say, "Hey, I noticed you were in last month. I hope you enjoyed the massage. I'd love to have you come back in again." Follow up with your people. The other thing that I would suggest is to give your established clientele a little bit of a perk to recommend people to you, maybe $20 off on their next massage. I went to the trouble of having some, what I call massage buck certificates printed up. And when they would send me somebody, I would mail them one of these $20 off things. It doesn't have to be that, it could be whatever you want it to be. But I soon discovered that when people are getting rewarded for recommending you, they'll recommend you a lot more. And the more new clients you have, the greater your footprint becomes in the massage industry. And I grew my practice exponentially using a 3 contest where I was having my established clients competing for a grand prize for who could send me the most people. And I took in a ton of money, was extremely busy during that contest. But the most important thing is that I retained many of those new people that they sent me. And I tracked that for about 6 months after the contest ended, or 8 months after that contest ended. And I took in an enormous amount of money from those people that I would have never seen had they not been referred to me. So those are 3 little quick things that you can do that I think will benefit your business greatly and help you grow it quicker than you think you can.
Those are awesome tips. I love all of them. I mean, and they're pretty much free except for your time. You do have to take time to do them. I mean, but I think reaching out, just taking that extra time to make that client feel important and special to you
Exactly.
by reaching out to them and following up, just saying, how do you feel after your massage? And thanks for coming in and visiting me. That little extra bit of customer service just puts your business ahead of your competition immediately. And it makes people feel like you care about them and
And they feel appreciated.
they
Yeah,
feel appreciated.
exactly.
And we all want to feel appreciated in the world, that's for sure. I took the time and money to invest in a professional coach when I first started my business several years ago. And the number one thing I took away from that was to ask for referrals.
Absolutely.
And I love your idea of doing a competition because I have a couple of ladies that come in to see me that are my the biggest provider of referrals for me, the 2 of them. And they compete against each other. They're friends. And they
Right.
compete against each other naturally about who's going to give me more massage referrals. And I love them so much for that. And I have a referral program where you refer 3 new people to me and you get a free massage.
That's almost exactly what I was doing, except I was giving them $20 for each one they sent. So if they got free at that time, I was charging $60. So kind of the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, 3 and it's free is what I call it. And yeah, and if people like you and appreciate your work and have found value in your service, they're gonna tell their friends about it because especially when people are in pain, because this is one of my favorite phrases. Pain is a big motivator. You will make another appointment for a massage if you're in enough pain. You will tell your friends about you. If they're in enough pain, they will come
And the
in.
last time they were in, you relieved their pain.
Yes. But I think the referral is a big thing. Initially when my professional coach told me, "You ask for referrals," I was really hesitant to do that, and it made me feel awkward. But I found a way to do that in when somebody paid me a compliment at the end of their massage,
Mm-hmm.
or I asked them, "How do you feel?" Which I ask every single person out when they leave my massage room, "How are you feeling when you stand up?" And they tell me how good they're feeling. Oh, I call it, bobblehead. They come out and they can't
Gumby.
yeah, they can't even hold their head up anymore, their neck feels so good, and I'm like, if you have other friends that are interested in this kind of service, I am accepting new clients. And
Right.
so, it was a way and that's not even a question, that's a statement.
Right.
I would be happy to help any other people that, may need my
That you
service.
want to trust me with. Right.
Yes.
Well, I think referrals are especially important for male therapists because most guys don't really want to go to the guy, and about half of the women don't really trust the guy to give them a massage. So I think when a woman client gives her girlfriend a referral, it means this guy's safe and also good. And so you can feel comfortable going to him without having any concerns. And so I think that's one of the things that's really important for male therapists, as much probably more so than it is for female therapists.
Well, that's an important point. Let's talk about male therapists versus female therapists in this industry. I mean, you're absolutely right. Male therapists have a hard time being successful because,
Getting started, yeah.
yeah, getting started. Women don't necessarily feel immediately comfortable with having a male therapist, and neither do male
Mhm.
clients. What would you recommend to a new male therapist out there listening?
Well, I have a guy that came to me and for a couples massage with his wife. And I teach a couples massage class also where I teach them to give each other a massage. So after they came and got a couples massage at my office, he wanted to take the class. And so he and his wife came and took the class, and he was a natural. The wife, not so much, but the guy was a natural. And so he said, and I kept bragging on him. So after the class, he kept saying, "Well, do you think I could make a career out of this?" And I said, "Well, yes, you can. You're gifted enough to do it, but don't give up your day job. What you need to do is go to massage school at night, build your clientele at night on nights and weekends. And then when you're making as much money from your massage business on nights and weekends as you were making at your real job, then you quit your real job."
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. And he's been tremendously successful. He's also a personal trainer as well. And if I could tell you where he was, I would. I can't think of the name of it. Something Ropes and Ranch is where he is now. He did it very successful out there. So that's what I would say. The way I got started is I had a fitness studio that I built and ran for 4 years. And I had massage rooms there, and we had a bunch of other stuff too. We had aerobics, we had women's boxing, we had personal trainers and all that kind of stuff. It was a little fitness gym. And I got started there and I built my clientele there before I sold that business and became exclusively a massage therapist. And that was a big help to me because people that were members there would trust the owner to give them a massage versus just somebody that they did not know. And so I had a pretty good massage clientele built before I ever sold that business and moved to a private office just to do massage. So I kind of jump started mine that way. But I would not recommend that any guy get his massage license, go rent an office and expect that he's going to have a full book of clients. He's just not going to have it. It has to be developed over time. I really do think you need to have a second source of income while you're trying to build it if you're a guy. Not a bad approach for a woman as well, but especially for a guy.
So, Steve, do you have any tips about how a new or upcoming male massage therapist can help ensure that they are a safe person and that people can trust them when they walk in the door?
Well, one of the things that I did by design when I moved out on my own, I had a when I had the fitness studio, I had a gal walk in there looking for a job as a massage therapist. And I was just in the process of selling the business. And so I said, I don't want to hire you because I'm about to leave. I'm in the process of selling this business, but I would like to have you as my partner and share office space with you. And she thought about it for a while. My wife and I, she went to dinner with my wife and daughter and I just to get to know me and make sure that everything was on the up and up. And we just shared an office. We just split the rent. And before that, she was working out of a health club and not very busy over there. And so the thing about having her there is that it helped to make women feel safer because it was not just me and them. She was almost always there. And so I would introduce them. This is Crystal. Our rooms were right next to each other. And so I think I had men clients as well, but I think it made women feel a little bit more comfortable because there was another woman on the premises. I think that made a lot of difference. And we were on the corner of Harwood and Murphy in Bedford. And there was a sign out front that was kind of a diagonal sign that faced both Harwood and Murphy. There was a place for us to put our sign, and all it said was massage and my phone number. And that's a long traffic light. People were sitting there. We picked up an enormous amount of clients just from that sign. Most of them went to her because I didn't want the guy, but I did pick up some from the sign. It made most of my women clientele feel comfortable coming in because they knew somebody else was there and they felt safer.
Well, and I've been in when you had a studio, I've been in there, and I was what do you call it? I was your test subject in one of the.
Oh, you were the model?
I was the model in one of the classes that we had. And, I never felt uncomfortable with you at all. And I know there's stuff that as female massage therapists that I do to help my clients feel comfortable. And I just feel like, we all have to do that now, not just male massage therapists, but we all have.
I think it's really important. And I usually try to do this, especially with first-time clients, but even after they've been coming to me for a while, because you get comfortable with them, they get comfortable with you, and you just want to check in with them after a period of time and make sure there's not anything that you're doing that makes them uncomfortable. But I usually tell people, this is your massage, and if there's anything that you don't like, please tell me right away because I can fix it. If you don't tell me, you come out after the massage is over and say, I could have used a little deeper pressure. Well, I can't go back and fix it at that point.
Yeah.
So tell me if you're uncomfortable. And I always tell them if you're uncomfortable with anything, you don't like the music, you're not comfortable with the way you're draped, anything that you want to tell me right away because I want you to be happy and I'll fix it. If it's in my power to fix it, and so basically what I'm saying is you give them permission to tell you what they want. And you would think that would be obvious to people, but as a therapist, you probably know this as well as anybody that it's not obvious to them. They're afraid that you'll think they're telling you what to do. Now, I've had a few that wanted to tell me every move to make. That I don't care for. But if they're just telling me what they like and what they're comfortable with, I think that's wonderful because it's going to mean that I'm going to come a lot closer to giving them what they want, and it's going to have them coming back to me.
Yep. And I love that so much. I think that's really important for our listeners to take away. And, I'm going to expand just a little bit on that because one thing that I like to tell people, and this, you have to be able to put your pride aside. As much as you're confident in your skills and your massage, you have to put your pride aside and say, I want to be your massage therapist. Mm-hmm. Teach me how to do that.
Exactly.
What exactly do you need from me to make this a successful session for you and successful future sessions for you? And one of the things that I ask my clients about is, why do you keep coming back to me? Why do you like what I do? Because that's important to know. And one of the things I just heard yesterday was that, and I think this is a critical piece for most therapists to learn as well, not just putting your pride away and asking for your client's help and making you their therapist. My client said, the number one thing that I like about you is that you actually listen to my problems. And one thing that I've implemented in my practice is, of course, we do our, session at the beginning where, we talk to the client about what's going on, the consultation. I repeat it back to them. Okay, I hear you're having neck problems. It's more on your
Right.
right side than your left. It's going down your rhomboids into your shoulder blade, and you're having problems with your range of motion. Is that right? And kind of repeating back to them what they just told me. So it justifies that, yes, I've heard what you've said. And then during the session, my sessions are therapeutic. So we're not real, it's not like quiet and we're sleeping. But if your sessions are like that, you might not be able to do this. But I do, while I'm working on that arm, I ask them, am I in the right place? Is this where you're feeling it? Do you feel like this? I'm addressing the problem that we talked
Right.
about. And then after the session is over, I say, okay, how's your range of motion now? Are you able to move your arm? I mean, yesterday my client came out literally with her arms up going, look at me, I've got my arms raised up. And
That's awesome.
a celebration for both of us. Because, that's when I say, thank you for trusting me, because it takes both the client and the therapist to move into a successful massage, right? They have to trust me. They have to trust us as massage therapists, and you have to trust them to relax and let the therapy work.
Yeah, I love to work on somebody that just lets you have their body.
Yes.
I hate it when they're fighting you. But I wanted to go back to one thing that you said, because it reminded me of something that I do that I didn't mention. When they come out, especially with the new client, I always ask them, was there anything that you especially liked? And instead of saying, is there something that you didn't like? Because they may not tell you, because they think that's offensive if they tell you they didn't like something. I always say, is there anything that you especially like, or is there anything you'd like to do differently were you to come back again? And that way they get the opportunity to tell me, oh, I'd like to do this differently next time, without saying it was bad or I didn't like it. Because sometimes they don't want to tell you that, because they know we all have pride and we all think we're good, and they don't want to say, you did a bad job. So they're afraid to tell you the things that they didn't like unless you give them permission. And the way I do that is to say, what would you like to have done differently the next time we come in, next time you come, if you should come in again? If they're a regular client, I don't say if you should come in again. I say, what do we need to do differently next time?
Yeah.
But if they're a first-time client, I don't suppose or assume that they're going to be back. I just say, if you were to come back, what would you like to have done differently? And sometimes I get some really great information about that helps me to do exactly what they want, so that I can become their massage therapist. And make them fit their needs, like you were saying.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. I mean, it's all about communication and trust, and, putting your pride aside and saying, I'm a great massage therapist. I might not be a great massage therapist for everybody, though. And that client that's coming in, that might not be the perfect fit. And that's okay. Some people are not the perfect fit for every person. But if it jives well and your technique and what they need match, then, you can talk to that person and kind of make it work a little better. But for some reason, I think there's a lot of people out there on the client side that they don't feel comfortable giving feedback to the massage therapist. And I don't know why that is, if they've been traumatized in the past, but I really encourage people to tell me, if you don't like, this is your massage, you're not going to hurt my feelings at all. You might not like it, but ABC person likes it. These other people like it, but that's okay. You're a different person than they are.
Right. Sometimes I'll say to them, I'm really good at this, but I can't tell how it's feeling to you. Only you can tell how it's feeling to you. So don't be afraid to tell me. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I mean, sometimes they come out and you say, is there anything you especially like? Anything you'd like to do differently next time? And they say, oh, everything was perfect, which is, it makes you feel good, but it doesn't help you learn anything that would help them better the next time. And if they really feel that way, that's awesome. But if there's something in their mind that they just don't say, that's not as good, because then you can't fix what it is that doesn't exactly match their needs. But like you said, not everybody is going to like you. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and you can't please everybody. I mean, you can do your best to accommodate what they're looking for. I mean, I've had people come in that didn't even want to turn face up. They wanted me to work all exclusively on the back side of their body, which just goes against every fiber of my being, because all the muscles on the other side are the opposing muscle groups to the ones that I'm working on.
Yeah.
But if that's what they want, I'll try to do it. But it doesn't make sense to me. And sometimes I'll try to explain it, and sometimes I'll just go with the flow and say, okay, well, if that's what you want, that's what we'll do. But sometimes I think it's a little bit silly what people have in their head, but you can't fix that. You just have to do the best you can with what they present to you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've given some really great tips and tricks to massage therapists and the listeners that are out there. I've hoped that you've learned something, because I know that over the years I've taken a few of Steve's classes, and I can just tell by some of these things that he's saying that I have gravitated towards some of those ideas that you've presented, and some of those tips over the years have worked for me. So thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
a mentor to me and giving me these tips several years ago, because they have worked, and I've developed them into my own formula that works for my business and for my client. And I hope that our listeners can take away those, those same things, or whatever works for you and whatever
Right.
is comfortable for you. And it might be a little uncomfortable to ask for a referral, or ask, what can we improve on in this session? Because it does take a little humility. But I encourage you to at least try to go out there, and as you're massaging people, practice these things and be honest, because, we're all human, and we all want to help others. As massage therapists, we have an empathetic heart. We're in this to help other people. And if you truly can sincerely present that to your clients, it's usually very well received.
Absolutely.
And if you're genuine and you're truthful and honest, that's really your recipe for success, to be honest. I mean, it sounds so simple, but the phrase "keep it simple, stupid" is very successful.
Yeah. Yeah. One other quick thing that I wanted to add about, I talked about following up with clients, but on the front end, when they come in, I think it's extremely important. And I can tell from your personality that you do this without needing to be told to do it. But there are some therapists that don't act like they're happy that the person is there when they come in, that the client is there. I had a gal that worked for me at the fitness studio that was an extremely good massage therapist, but she was also a fitness trainer, and she didn't really want to do massages. She wanted to do fitness. And when people would come in, it was like, oh, you again, I got to work, I mean, you could just see it all over her that she did not want to go back in that room and work on that person. And I think it's really important that when the person comes in, that you show some excitement that they're there. I mean, and I'm not saying put on a big act.
Right.
I think that's phony, but just, I mean, you are happy they're there. So let them know that you are. And they'll be excited to see you if you're excited to see them. So that's my last 2 cents on that.
Well, episode 2, where I interviewed Rebecca Brumfield, she is a social media influencer, massage therapist. And one of the things that we talked about in the episode that just launched today was how I wake up every day and I say, today's going to be a good day. Somebody on my books has been looking forward to this, if not all of them on my books,
Right.
been looking forward to this day for several days. And even though it's just another day for me, I have to remember this is a day that my clients look forward to, and
It's a special day for them.
It's a special day for them. And if today was my massage day, I want them to be really excited that I'm there, because it's a special day for me too. So almost like their birthday,
Yeah.
kind of have to think about it like today's my massage day. I'm so excited. And you as their massage therapist should encourage that. You want them to be excited to be there and you want to express your excitement that they're there as well. And hopefully that comes out as gratitude and not, oh geez, I have to work on this person again. I mean, what we do is work. It's kind of like flower delivery. We're giving something and they're
Yeah.
so happy to receive.
And when you've been working on somebody for 20 years and they have the same problems every week, sometimes it's really hard to feel excited about doing that same thing that you've been doing year after year on that same person.
Yeah.
But when that happens, and I had a gentleman that came to me literally 20 years and would still be coming if I had the office open. But I tried to focus on his personality because he was a very upbeat, happy gentleman and was always glad to see me. And so I tried not to focus on the fact that working on him was not very much fun. I tried to focus on the fact that getting to see him was very much fun. I mean, he's 82. So, every day is a blessing when he comes in. So that's one little thing that you can do is to focus. If there's somebody that you don't enjoy working on them because the difficulty of it or the boredom of doing the same thing over and over, try to focus on them as a person and why you're happy they're there as a person. And then they'll see the excitement, even though you're not excited about doing the massage that you've done twice a month for 20 years.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, okay. Well, anything else you want to share?
No, I'm excited to come out to your place. Make sure you give a big splash and a big email or whatever when you get open, because I want to come over there and see that place.
I'm super stoked and you'll be definitely notified when this happens. I want to start the schedule. At some point, we need to get a schedule of classes ready for next year.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I want to start slotting in you and my other massage therapy instructors into what we're going to do next year and what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
But, I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Steve. I'm
All
going
righty.